Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dota 2 Asia Championships 2015. My name is SUNSfan, joined by WinteR.
Sup, my
First
friend?
time casting together. Let's do this, buddy. We have Rave versus HellRaisers. Let's just get in the game, shall we? So, let's look at the records, WinteR. We have Rave currently sitting at 11th, tied with eHome at 5 and 8. And HellRaisers, surprising some, including myself, 7th place at the moment, 7 and 6. So, we were talking about this earlier. eHome, or not eHome. Did I say eHome earlier or say Rave? Rave's tied with eHome. Okay.
Yeah, HellRaisers need one more win to secure top 8.
Right. So they have how many games? They have 2 games left, right?
Yes.
So if they win one, they're in top 8 and it's done because they have the tiebreaker. But Rave, on the other hand, who started off really hot, were they like 4 and 1 to start?
Yeah, but to be fair, they got a lot of the easier games on the first day. But mathematically, they need one more point. Am I correct? One more point for them to at least not drop into the bottom 4.
Yeah, I think it gets a little complicated because if they win 1, there's still a chance that they could be bottom 4, I think. Because CDEC, who's currently 13th, has the tiebreaker on them.
Oh.
So it's kind of dependent on how they do as well.
So the best bet would be 2 wins for Rave.
Yeah,
2 points.
2 wins. I mean, it's likely 1 win is enough, but it's impossible to tell right now because the records are so close looking at them right now. And I'm still shocked by eHome almost dropping out right now. This is insane, but that's another story. So Rave started off, I want to say 4 and 1. So they've lost every game but one since day 1. I could be wrong, but that seems right.
Yes, according to my memory, they were like 4th position or 3rd position after the first day in the standings. So they probably only picked up 1 point along the way so far.
Yeah, I think you're right. So looking at the draft so far, the spin to win heroes. Juggernaut is not picked or banned. Are we surprised?
Well, it usually happens when the meta develops further and not everyone feels comfortable with the heroes. And if you actually listen to one of No-Tail's interviews from the past, he actually said that he said something that I feel was really true in the current phase of Dota. Anything can work as long as the team and your captain believes in it. It's not like the old Dota where everyone has to play this way where it's the best.
Right.
If you can make whatever you think would work, it will work in Dota.
So as long as you're confident with the picks.
Yes. Instead of just following everyone's picking Jug and we'll just pick Jug. But there will always be certain heroes that obviously very favorable for the current meta. Like someone like Axe, Jug, and Troll, like we just mentioned, the spin to win heroes.
Well, Jug's still available for the picking. He's going to get picked right off the bat. No hesitation from HellRaisers. They have a Shadow Fiend, Lion, Juggernaut, and Rave right now with Axe Warlock, which we can assume at this point will be a core Warlock, because if it's not, I'll be very sad. I think it's still a 100% win rate as core in this tournament.
I think a Warlock, if you play him as a support, it's just so underwhelming.
Yeah.
We used to see it in the past where, I think it was from C9, where they actually, he maxed the upheaval as a support Warlock. I think it's from RE 2000 back then. It was pretty underwhelming. Right? I feel the hero needs his Axe Refresher. That's just about the hero. The ultimate.
It almost seems like he's kind of one-dimensional, because if you don't do that, he's just so... I mean, Shadow Word, we were talking about this the other day, as far as a heal and damage, it's actually extremely good as far as how much damage it ends up doing, but you just need levels on this guy and you need farm.
But you talk about the heal. His other 2 spells, the Fatal Bond and the Upheaval, are actually game-changing in team fights. Very, very powerful, deals a lot of damage. And one thing about Warlock, he isn't very tanky in certain points of the game, like mid-game when the carries get a lot of items. So Upheaval just allows you to be in a safe distance as well. The Shadow Word is very good in the laning phase, obviously.
But it drops off, yeah.
Yeah, it drops off later on.
We've been seeing most people just ignore Fatal Bonds lately.
Because of the range, you need to be near to cast it. Instead of like the Upheaval where you can stay from a far distance.
Well, they buffed that so hard. It was like 1,000 range now or something. It's insane.
In Dota 1, you usually see Warlock plus Vino and Spectre back in the day with the Fatal Bonds, but you don't see it now.
Yeah, those were the days, huh? Well, Rave's going to pick a Witch Doctor and trying to figure out what their lanes are going to be. I mean, Warlock, if it's a core, you think it's going to be mid lane against the Shadow Fiend?
if you look at MVP, they vary with the lanes with Warlock. Sometimes safe lane, they just give a support or a tri lane with the Warlock on the safe lane, getting a quick Midas. 1v1 middle, I think Warlock is actually very strong because the way you play it, you just get Shadow Word plus stats. So very good last hitting, good animation, good range, a lot of damage as well. If you are up against, for example, this game, HellRaisers have a Shadow Fiend in the middle lane, I would say Warlock will be able to have a very good time against the Shadow Fiend. Maybe even solo kill the Shadow Fiend if you are able to actually out-level him and get a faster level 6.
Yeah, especially considering that Witch Doctor is a pretty decent roamer in general. Morphling's going to be picked by Rave. I would expect them to ban the Ancient Apparition.
5 seconds
so they don't have to worry about all that good
that's
stuff.
for sure. That's a very hard counter to Morphling.
Reserve
But
time.
looking at the lineup right now, Rave has very big teamfight heroes, Warlock and Witch Doctor. Not to mention, Axe is also quite a big teamfight hero. Like, Witch Doctor thrives in this sort of situation where you have two frontline. I count Warlock as a frontliner because of the ulti, so he will be able to cause a lot of distractions in the fight. And upheaval or fatal bonds will be, no matter what he goes for, will be really good with Witch Doctor. And Axe, again, another bodyguard for the Witch Doctor. So wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of full duration channel ultis here for the Witch Doctor, even though there's a Puck. As long as his position is good, the Puck can't reach him, the Witch Doctor ultimate will be quite devastating.
Puck has too many people that he needs to silence too. I mean, I'm looking at Juggernaut though. Is this a game where you go Diffusal?
Yeah, I think Diffusal is very, very valuable here against the Golem and obviously the Ghost Scepters at some point in the game as well.
Yeah, that's a good point, yeah. Alright, well, Puck, as we talked about, is going to be the 4th pick for HellRaisers. They're going to ban Sand King. We're assuming that Ancient Apparition will be the ban. And there we go. So HellRaisers, what do they need? They have the mid. They have Juggernaut in all likelihood. Well, Puck is probably, I guess this is an offlane Puck. So another support or a jungler is what I'm assuming.
We have actually seen HR, one of the few teams that actually run the offlane Puck, other than EG, quite often.
Secret did it once or twice. And
there was one game. Just one game.
I only just remember that game because Zai was unbelievably good.
Yeah, but that game was like a 1 versus 1 matchup. It wasn't really a 1v3. So.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Actually, who was he playing against?
Remaining.
It was somebody he should have lost to.
He was playing against a Prophet in a lane.
Yeah, that's right.
So HellRaisers are going to look for their final support here to complement the Lion, and they are usually a team that like supports that fight very early and have a lot of burst damage. Lion plus...
Well, Shadow Shaman still... I'm not a huge fan of Shadow Shaman support, but he's available, I suppose.
10 seconds remaining.
You know, one thing about that support is like he's very slow though. That's his primary weakness. So Skyrath plus Lion would be the massive spell damage supports with the Puck as well.
The Dreamcoil may set up some good Mystic Flares, but that remains to be seen. And Ninja Boogie's going to pretty much immediately pick up Earthshaker. And I always talk about Ninja Boogie, remembering him from Han days. He played like carry. It's so weird seeing these Han players that I've known playing like these hard carries or like mids, just somebody that has impact very early on and then transitioning to support. The same thing with No Tail. A lot of people don't know No Tail started as a mid in Han, was completely dominant, like ridiculously dominant, and then switched to support in Dota 2, just like a 180 essentially.
Well, when Ninja Boogie he first joined this team, he was playing a core position. I can't remember, either Raya or Chrissy were playing the supports, and they actually switched things up to make things run better. I actually think he's a lot better on the support role on this team, to be honest. They were playing really well.
Yeah, they're playing quite well indeed. Okay, let's go over the lineups. HR, we have Shadow Fiend mid, played by Afa Ninja. Ninja. Just gonna pronounce it however I like. Goretz. Do you know how you pronounce it on Puck?
I have no clue. I just follow Andrew because that's how Andrew says.
What does he say? Goretz?
Goretz, yeah.
Yeah, because we got flamed big time. We were calling him Gorech and Gorek because we're Americans and we're terrible at that kind of thing. But he's gonna be playing the Puck. Dread,
30 seconds
the infamous Dread, on the Skyrath Mage. Arts. This one I still don't know how to pronounce, but we're just gonna go with Arts playing the Juggernaut, and he doesn't have any cosmetics, which is really sad to see. And got him, or goddamn, depending on how you want to pronounce that, playing the Leon.
Wow, I like that.
You like that? That was my French pronunciation. You want to go over Rave?
Sure.
The
And
battle
on the Dire
begins.
side, we have our Southeast Asian team, Rave, Cars playing the Witch Doctor, the captain. Jayo will be on the mid morphling. Ryo will be on the safe lane, Warlock starting with Boots. Ninja Boogie gonna drop a Fissure at bottom as his Earthshaker to help out the offlaner, which is Chrissy the Axe. A little bit here. Gonna help him get some easy level 2.
Yeah, Axe is going to love that free XP for sure. So, you said Jayo's the captain?
I know, Cars is the captain.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, it's not typical for... Well, what do you think about this, actually, since you have a lot of experience? As far as captains go, does it always have to be a support?
It's better to be the support because he's actually overseeing the game.
He's not focusing on CS and
Yeah,
things like
that's
that.
the biggest deal. That is the biggest deal. And here you see something rather unusual again from the Earthshaker. He just came towards middle.
How does that block the creeps?
Yeah,
There's like,
it's
what in the world?
to help out the morphing because the Skyroth is just being such a nuisance to him right now in the lane. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Sucks to be him, and he doesn't have a salve. Probably has to send one soon.
These arcane bolts are ridiculously
My god,
annoying. That's 3 or 4 that he's pounded
That's
into
got
Morphling
to
already.
suck. That's got to suck, man.
Indeed. But our Skyroth Mage also has a couple mana potions as well, which he's going to use one of now. And the misery will in all likelihood continue. Jayo has 300 gold, so I'm assuming Bottle's going to be the choice for him. He's still a ways away, however. And we'll see how that progresses as time goes on. But the Shadow Fiend versus Morphling, he's going to get fissured. This one won't block him because he's a hero and not a creep, a dumb creep that can't with a terrible AI. What do you think about the matchup in general, though? Just Shadow Fiend versus Morphling.
I think for the Shadow Fiend, with levels, it goes a lot better for you. But Morphling definitely can catch up. Like, for example, if the creep wave is at a good position, like Shadow Fiend, you get the Morphing waves in, kills all the creeps, and he has a lot of stats morph into agility. He can definitely kill you if the Shadow Fiend is not careful.
Chrissy, taking out the creeps really fast, has a level of Battle Hunger. Do you expect him to go past 1 level of Battle Hunger?
No, just for the movement speed.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a value point.
He's in
lot of
trouble
ways.
here.
Oh, he gets sheeped. The spin to win. Juggernaut gets the Blade Fury off. Berserker's Call is there. Got him. No Impale for 5 seconds, so Chrissy will get out of there with his life. But I mean, he's getting a lot. He has 3.5. He's level 3.5, 7 CS at the moment compared to. Well, this is kind of not the exact same thing since this is Radiant offlane, but 3.5 for Puck is actually exactly the same CS. We were having a discussion, and there was some I'm not going to say there was arguments. It's bottom lane again. Sheep on the Chrissy. Blade Fury is up. Barely catching Chrissy here, and it looks like that's going to finally be the first blood one way or another. Unless he can juke away with that Tango.
Oh,
Impale's going to miss with the crit.
Oh my god.
RNGesus coming in full fold here.
He almost got away. That was really close.
All right, Cinderin and Gods disagreed on this. Radiant versus Dire offlane. Which do you think is actually... Oh boy, Affin, you're dead. Here comes the waveform. He's doing a lot of damage to Jayo, who's morphing up. He's actually going to get the kill. Wow, that is not what Rave wanted. It ends up being a trade, a Morphling for a Shadow Fiend, but Morphling gets the death first, meaning Shadow Fiend gets experience.
He should not have died there though. He knew that the Shadow Fiend used the first race already, and he could have just waved and just stood next to the Shadow Fiend, and the second race would have never caught him. That was a huge misplay there by Geo.
That was surprising.
Yeah, the Shadow Fiend is very happy that happened. Three-man gank, and he got a 1-for-1, and top lane.
Yeah, top lane Rhino taking a lot of damage. He's going to dodge the illusory orb, but Goret's just going to jump in there with that Jaunt and Dread, hoping to take it out. So, Radiant versus Dire offlane. Who do you favor? Just in general, not this game in particular, but in general.
Dire offlane is much better.
Really?
Yes, because the creep wave moves slower. Easier for the offlane to get a block, and here Cast gets a haste rune. Goddamn's gonna get slowed by the Battle Hunger. Easy kill there.
Yeah, easy kill. Got him. Does get an Impale off. One right click will do it, and the Battle Hunger will be the thing that finishes him off. So it's 3-2. HR with the early kill lead at the very least.
Yeah, the reason I feel the Dire side offlane is much better because if you look at the blocks, usually Dire offlaners get a better block because of how the creeps work. they actually move the slow movement speed starts to get quick around at this area, and for the Radiant offlane right after the tier 2, it actually speeds up already. So there's a huge difference in the blockings of the offlaners. But you can argue that the Radiant offlane, you have the side camp to pull, and on the Dire side you can't really have any camps to pull, but at the same time you have much easier access to the Ancients. Well, I guess as an offlaner myself, in the recent patches I would prefer the Dire offlane, just because of the blocking thing.
Okay. Oh, Jayo taking a lot of damage.
This is
from
the
these
issue when Shadowfiend has his level 3 race against Morphing. Morphing is done in this lane.
He just pushes the lane, he can go into the jungle, and then by the time he gets back, the wave will be there for him as well. So Shadowfiend's such a good hero, and I think with all these roaming supports, it's really benefiting him back in this mid lane. Because he disappeared for a long time, it's because he would just get ganked over and over again. I just remember Arteezy playing this. We're going to see a concussive shot. TP out by Ninja Boogie. It's going to be enough. Illusory Orb will hit. Waning Rift too slow, though.
The silence didn't actually hit him. And middle lane, Jayo gonna be a victim of the gank from Goddamn here.
Oh my. So that is the second death, if I'm not mistaken, for that Morphling.
Things are going really bad. The Morphling versus Shadowfiend lane is something that it's very, very risky. And HR understood that. They allocated Dread, helping out the Shadowfiend in the middle lane for the first wave, and it paid off very, very well for them. Morphing, look at his CS right now, 12 CS at 6 minutes. That's just
that's not good.
That's just very, very bad for him. And
Ryo, top lane's going to take a Waning Rift Illusory Orb combination. He's just going to right click, even though there's a DD on Goretz. Not a whole lot he can do. Okay, so I want to bring something random up. I've been trying to convince Synderin of this for about a year and a half, and today I woke up, I brought it up again, and he agreed with me finally. So I want to try to keep an open mind, okay? So we saw some stats today. The top 4 teams of this tournament are, what was it, 29-1 on Radiant and 17-11 on Dire, I believe was the stat. Something to that nature, something ridiculous. So there's still some imbalances as far as Radiant versus Dire overall. I think that, would you agree with that at the very least?
Yeah, Radiant obviously better jungle. And Radiant, one thing I feel at this point in the current patch is this ward here. If you are doing some ancient stacks with Tidehunter, you must have a sentry here. You see a lot of games where the Tide is doing, in this tournament specifically, when they are doing ancients and the enemy just smokes and catches and steals your ancients. Basically something like that happens, it changes a lot. Obviously yesterday there was a game where it happened on the Radiant side as well. There was the Na'Vi against IG game, but it's more likely to happen if you're on Dire because of this position, the position of the ward, and the enemy can sneak in from the Roche pit.
Okay, I haven't heard that one before actually. Goretz going to take a Chaotic Offering to the face. He has one phase shift, but the right click is going to be such long range. They end up trading though. Warlock does fall.
Worth it.
The Chaotic Offering continuing to pressure Dread. He is the fastest support in the game. Is he the fastest hero in the game?
No, not the fastest hero.
Who's the fastest hero?
Enchantress got buffed.
Ah, that's right.
335
Radiant's
now.
top tower is under attack.
That is right.
Luna is 330. Chaos Knight and Skywrath is 325 base movement speed.
Okay.
And this is the fastest hero, Shadowfiend with a haste.
No, that's not true. Lycan's faster now.
Right.
He's 650, I want to say.
Yeah, 650 with the.
Actually, no. Bloodseeker technically is the fastest hero, though, depending on circumstances.
Bloodseeker has no cap, isn't it? That is not fair.
Okay, so anyway, going back to my point because I didn't actually get to it. What do you think? And keep an open mind. People really hate it when I bring this up. Having a symmetrical map.
I actually think it's quite impossible because of the Roshan pit.
Okay,
unless you remove the Roshan
Let's
pit.
say there's 2 Roche pits and he just alternates spawns.
Sounds like League of Legends.
See, that's what everybody says. I played League of Legends 3 times, so I can't say for sure if that's actually true,
but I'm open to change.
Okay. I feel like it's just something that people don't take seriously because it's me bringing it up. But if they put it in the game, they're like, "Oh, okay, it makes sense." I've been pushing for that. I don't know. I don't think it's a huge issue.
You probably make everything super balanced. There'll be pros and cons in it, obviously. But yeah, I don't think you can judge whether it's gonna be good or bad without trying it at all.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And it's such a huge change. But considering that they moved the Roche pit entirely, I figured that they're eventually going to get to that, honestly. That's what I really feel. Alpha Ninja, TPing bot. He has a mechanism right now. And in all likelihood going for treads next. Chrissy is the target of choice in all likelihood. He's just going to back up. This tier 1 tower looks to be dead, although there are TP supports.
He's very close to his blink. He doesn't want to die here.
With the axe?
Yeah, the axe has 1.9k go right now. Cast comes in with the Invis rune. Did they actually spot? There's no wards here, so I don't expect the sentries from the supports here because they didn't see what rune Cast actually got.
Not sure if he can set anything up, though. Axe will have the blink, like you said, in about 100 gold. Earthshaker, extremely poor at this point, but that's to be expected. Something I've noticed that a lot of teams have been doing, they've been playing like the Earthshaker as like a 5 until the 4, which in this case, maybe Witch Doctor is the 5, but a lot of times the 5 would, the normal 5, which would be the Witch Doctor, would get a little bit farm.
Rave doesn't play it like this because Ninja Boogie is the greedy support.
Oh,
so
I see now.
Yeah, but I get your point because Earthshaker, his spell, I want to say Fissure is one of the best level 1 spells. You don't really need levels early game as compared to a Witch Doctor or a Lion, for example, on HR. You basically change the early game by just dropping one good Fissure. You save a key hero like a core, and you basically did your job. Or you just continue stacking and making sure that your core farms up a lot faster. Middle lane, got them.
Oh, wow. Well, that's a lot.
Wow.
Oh, triple impale has got him actually going to live through this. It looks like that's going to be the case. I thought that was definitely going to be enough.
Damn. That intel.
He is eating his Cheerios today. No, it's actually Wheaties. Top lane. Oh, boy. Warlock goes down, but he does get the Chaotic Offering off.
That's a very, very good trade for HR.
Fisher's going to connect on Gorech. He's going to get a Waning Rift. Orb Jaunt. There's the cask. A couple more right clicks will do it. Instead, the Culling Blade will decapitate that puck.
I still feel it's actually a good trade for them. Chaotic Offering, a very long cooldown ultimate, and now they use it in a position where they can't actually get objectives out of it. That's really
like
good.
the top 5 longer cooldowns for ultimates, I believe. I think Wraith King's number 1, but that's got to be top 5. Extremely long. Jo has treads Aquila, however you want to say it. How do you say that?
I don't think I'm the best guy to
Oh, I know, I'm just curious.
I said Aquila.
Aquila. Okay.
Radiant's top
Yeah, I like
is under attack.
Ring of Tequila, basically, is how I
tower
kind of
is
pronounce
under
that.
attack.
7-5 for HR right now. Juggernaut, number 1 in the farm department, has a Mask of Madness.
Just look at the farm disparity between the cores of HR and Rave cores. It's just really, really big right now. And the Axe, he has to somehow pull some back for them. He needs to get a kill, preferably on the Shadow Fiend. But like you mentioned earlier, Mech plus Threats is just a very, very tough kill. And look at HR. They push middle, they push bottom. Global is 5 has top. This would ultimately prevent the Axe catching anyone with his Blink Dagger. And not to mention, they know the Warlock ultimate is down. Time to just take towers right now.
Well, they're probably going to get this free tier 1 because the majority of Rave is taking out this Ancient Stack. In fact, Chrissy almost dies to it. But he gains a decent amount of gold and XP as a result. He's 9 at the moment.
He's going to be looking to complete the Blade Meal on the Axe as soon as possible.
Is that what he's waiting for before starting to fight? Or?
Yeah, because with the Blade Meal, he can solo the Juggernaut very easily. Like when he farms, he pops his Mask of Madness and you just jump in with the Blade Meal. It's an easy kill for the Axe. It's a very huge counter towards Juggernaut playstyle right now, where you just farm with your Mask of Madness on most of the time.
Wow, look at this, WinteR. Warlock picking up a 13.5-minute Midas. So he is a long ways away from getting Axe
That's
Refresher.
just it's going to be a very long way for them to claw back into this game. And look at the vision there from HR, spotting the smoke from Rave as well. They have very, very good vision on the top lane. They see Chrissy here. They see the smoke from Ninja Boogie and Cast before this, so I don't expect anything to happen here. They won't be able to get picked off here. Dread will be just continuously farming here. 2 Nulls and a Power Threats. Very, very rich Skyrock here at this point of the game.
Yeah, you're right. That's actually pretty damn rich for a Skyrock. 3,200 net worth at the moment. He's going to get fissured into a Berserker's Call. Chrissy should be able to get an easy Culling Blade if he really wants to use it. It just feels too good not to use, so I can't blame him there. Jo, meanwhile, top lane. Might be a gank attempt. Gorech needs to initiate with the Waning Rift. He's going to do so with the Dream Coil first into Waning Rift. Of course, the Morph has already started. Arts has his ultimate, not even going to need it. So much damage and another TP
Look at
cancel.
what they were doing. They see a TP and everyone just stands there. They know how far ahead they are.
Yeah. Oh boy, Omni Slash onto Chris. He's going to pop Berserker's Call. That's going to give him a nice amount of armor to live through that Omni Slash. But I believe the Blade Fury should suffice as far as getting the kill is concerned. And one more right click, actually. 9-6 for HR, but it just feels not even that close.
Oh my god.
I mean, right, Axe buys back, jumps in, Fissure misses. It's going to be a wasted buyback, I
Just
think.
look at how HR are playing. They're so disciplined. They don't overextend. They are very content with what they get every time. Map control. They don't overdo things like some of the teams we see and resulting in overextending. They're just very... They look like a completely different team from day one. Like, to be honest, they are playing so well right now.
Chrissy gets a beautiful initiation with an entire wave to attack him for that the proc zone counter helix. Easy kill into Lion. I mean, that's, I guess, a good start. Of course, he still can't make any gold on creeps, but now he can. But luckily that was...
He still needs quite an amount of gold before he can get his blade meal. But now Rave realized that something is wrong. There's some vision here. Otherwise, why is HR actually reacting every time to their smoke? So they are going to take away one vision here, but the other deeper waters is still going to help HR decide when and where they can take fights. And JO at the moment still has... Man, it's just really sad when you click on the morphing at 16 minutes.
Yeah. Bottle Treads. Does have 1,400 gold, but yeah, he's... I mean, look at the net worth. He's middle of the pack, and that's not exactly what you want. I mean, maybe if you had another carry that was catapulting you, taking you into the late
this
game.
is why I was actually talking to you about I felt Warlock would be a good laning partner against the Shadow Fiend instead of the Morphing, because it's much more stable and secure. Like, the Morphing just got wrecked this game.
But then they don't have another core. Then they have to pick another core in that case, right?
No, I mean just switch up the lanes. Morphing at top and
Oh, I
Warlock.
see what you're saying. Okay.
HR is gonna get this Roshan fairly easy unless... Oh, the smoke, if they actually get... Okay, Rave knows what's up. Rave knows what's up.
Ninja Boogie looking for a fissure. He's going to get it off. Can they jump in? No, Juggernaut's just going to take
I
the
thought
Aegis.
Greasy would just YOLO blink in there. It felt like he was gonna do it, and it actually was very close.
How much vision does Fissure give?
It doesn't give any vision. It was just like...
So then they couldn't see what Roche's
They
health was
didn't
at.
know what was going on, but they had 3 heroes there, and I thought it was actually a very good chance for the Axe, because he was gonna catch both of them.
Oh man, look at this. So we talk about how Diffusal Blade is a counter of sorts to Chaotic Offering. It's not really that big of a counter if the Warlock's getting a ton of farm, because if you're going to have 4 golems, losing one isn't the worst
this is
thing at the
actually
end of the day.
very devastating because the Warlock is so far behind and the Juggernaut is so far ahead. So
Yeah, exactly.
the Warlock is gonna be useless at this point, apart from the stun.
Yeah, he'll get a nice AoE stun and then it'll die immediately, which is unfortunate. But let's look at his gold progression. He has a point booster, about 2,300 away from finishing Ags.
You can't play from behind with this hero. It's just way too difficult.
This might be the first loss of the tournament on a core Warlock.
Really?
And
First loss?
so, this was as of like yesterday or the day before. He was 100% win rate, like 4-0 as core and 0-1 as support.
So MVP picked him one game and they won.
And they picked him one game, they won, and then MVP has been banned every time since that first game, I believe. But I've had to look at the stats again. I don't know how updated that information is.
I see. So Warlock, obviously you need to be ahead though for that to happen.
Yeah.
Playing from behind as a Warlock just doesn't...
There's no catch-up. I mean, it's not like a Shadow Fiend that can just go... Like, if Shadow Fiend got dominated, that's the thing about Shadow Fiend that's so powerful. He gets dominated mid lane, he can just go into the jungle and catch up easily. And Witch Doctor not Witch Doctor, Warlock doesn't have any mechanic like that to work through.
Yeah, you need to be winning the team fights, pushing towers to actually get your goal going so you can actually turn into that super scary team fight hero in the mid and late game stage of the game. But now, Rave is just forced to... When you're forced to turtle with aggressive heroes like Axe and Warlock, it's just really difficult and not very favorable for you. Obviously, you have a very strong late game hero in the sense that is Morphling, but the enemy has Shadow Fiend and Juggernaut, which both of them has almost twice as much net worth
Dire's
as you.
bottom tower is under attack.
And Juggernaut, like we talked about, has a Diffusal, has a Mask of Madness, has a Yasha now, and an Aegis to boot. So taking damage isn't the biggest of deals. Level 1 healing
middle
at
lane.
the moment.
They're going to try and set up for Ryo there, but
Radiant's
Ryo's going
top
to be
tower is under
getting
attack.
getting
Dire's bottom
himself
tower
into a
has
safe
fallen.
distance. He doesn't even want to be anywhere near the creep wave there.
Look at this top lane. Look how passive Rave
Dire's
is.
bottom
Yeah, they can't
tower
see
is
tier
under
1
attack.
tower.
They can't see any of the supports on the map. They're gonna see Skyraf Dread showing himself in the middle lane, and yeah, 3 heroes now, but they already backed off, so I don't think they'll be able to push this tower now. This tier 2 mid from Rave looks to be all but over. I
They
don't
just
see
give it up here.
I don't see Rave defending this. It's just
Dire's middle
Not-
tower is under
not a
attack.
chance with the Aegis on the Juggernaut.
Omni Slash level 2 available. About a minute 45 seconds left on the Aegis itself. Ninja Boogie positioning himself for... The problem is not having a Blink Dagger. The initiation is basically
Dire's
Warlock
middle
and
tower
Axe.
Top
has
lane.
fallen.
Oh, top lane. Seeing Jo getting mana drained and Finger of Death. I'm just going to use that as a verb. It's happening. 10-7 advantage now for HR. 40 seconds on the books for Morphling. They transitioned this to a tier 2 top, it seems, because they just got mid. That's the last one remaining, the outer towers.
Yeah, they somehow need to create space for Morphling was pushing top, and his teammates were just... Everyone was farming lanes. Axe was doing Ancients. Warlock was pushing lanes, and no one was creating space, and here comes
Oh,
Arts.
jumps. Well, he gets echoes.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting Omni Slash. Just
Okay.
wanted to farm a little bit. Chrissy jumps in with the initiation.
At least they get the
Dire's top
Aegis.
tower is
Yeah,
under
one
attack.
Aegis down, although it only had like a minute up. If probably less than a minute. Let's see. Yeah, about 45 seconds or so is left anyway. Tier 2 top's gonna be the trade.
Top tower has
So
fallen.
Warlock, this is who we're focusing on. He's 750 away from finishing Ags. That'll help. I mean, how big of a deal is that right now? I mean, one will get diffused.
I don't know how big of a deal it can be, but let's just look at Rave's perspective. The only chance you come back into this game is you maybe try to get a pick off or two, but at this point it's so hard because everyone is so hard to kill. So you are counting on team fights. You're waiting for HR to ultimately want to push the high ground, and you use your combination of ultimates, the Earthshaker, the Warlock, and the Witch Doctor to get a team fight victory, which you don't really need. You don't really mind the diffuser from the Juggernaut. You just need the stun from the Warlock to set up a certain situation that could be really favorable for the Earthshaker.
Chrissy looking to initiate. Doesn't have much vision. Goretz though, he's playing quite passive as well.
They
He
know
goes for
something
creep
is up.
kills, yeah. Chrissy jumps in.
Wow.
Berserker Call on 2. How fortunate with an entire creep wave. Culling Blade onto the line and Echo Slam to follow.
That was what they needed.
Exactly what they needed. 2 kills for Rave. Arts is going to continue to junk. The funny thing about the Warlock in this situation is before the Diffusal Blade, his ultimate was decently powerful. It was pretty damn powerful, right? Now he puts it with an Aghanim Scepter. One's going to get
Radiant's bottom
eaten up right
tower
away by
is
the
under
Diffusal
attack.
Blade. And the other one
Chopped
is
down by
75%.
It's gonna get chopped down by Shadowfiend and Juggernaut in
Yeah,
no time.
pretty much. I mean, because it has 75% of the stats of the original Warlock as well. And that's something to keep in mind. The only way they come back is if he somehow can get a huge influx of arm.
Refresher as well. Like, the refresher will be key.
Yeah, exactly.
But they still have a very, very good team fight. Like the Earthshaker, Warlock, and Witch Doctor that I mentioned, plus the X
Radiant's
initiation.
bottom
So
tower is under attack.
HR, when they push high ground, they need to amass a very huge lead and be very, very careful about how they actually do that. And middle lane, they want to kill Jo once more. The 2 supports.
Yeah, well, the Jump Sheep into Mystic Flare. He's not going to get anything off. And that is the bane of Morphling's existence. He's down for 50.
Oh, Chrissy. Is he looking? Okay, probably not. I thought he had a very good chance to initiate there, but a bit too risky against the 3 heroes and the Jug there. But Morphling, like you mentioned, getting caught out again.
That's a big item. Blink Dagger on Earthshaker, so more initiation possibilities for Rave. Things just need to line up in the team fights for them to come back.
Yeah,
the problem is
I
Shadowfiend
think-
has a Scotty now. He is so tanky.
I think it's quite very possible for them to just win. Like, you see all these situations where one team gets a huge advantage. They control the whole map. Ultimately, when they push high ground, for example, against a Rave lineup, you just get Massacre, and the enemy team just pushes every lane out, gets Roshan, and the game just turns in favor of them with just one fight. I could see that happening in the game like this with a lineup that Rave has. So HR, they need to be very, very cautious when they approach high ground. I think they need Aegis and probably at some point a BKB on the Shadowfiend and the Juggernaut.
Shadowfiend, not only does he have a Scotty for tankiness, but has a double damage bottled as well. But There is
Oh,
a
no.
huge smoke
Oh,
gank
no.
from Rave. They're going to find the Shadow Fiend. He's not going to be able to pop this mech or double damage anytime soon. He's at half HP. Here's a Chaotic Offering used on top of him as well, along with the Echo Slam. Literally everything. And the Lion apparently was in the midst of things there as well.
Yeah,
Just
he actually
dies.
blinked and he got a 3-man impale. It was like literally a Ravage already, but he just tried his best to save his Shadow Fiend, but it wasn't good enough. There was just too many heroes there, and that was a very, very quick movement from Rave, but I guess it was just quite obvious as well when you see the middle lane going into so deep into the map and no one was actually taking the lane. The Shadow Fiend was already a little cautious. He didn't want to run down the river, but I guess he just didn't expect Rave coming in from behind him.
Well, good news is he still has double damage. Pretty sure that's going to stay up on him by the time he respawns. Not sure if he can use it though.
Radiant structures are
Yeah, so
fortified.
this would be the first tier 1, the first
Radiant's
objective
bottom
that
tower
Rave
is
has
under
gotten.
attack.
With the
Oh,
wall
J.O.
bottom.
He's popping the morph. Or morph into strength, I
Radiant's
should say.
bottom
Gets
tower
silenced
has fallen.
afterwards. Here's initiation. Oh, Ninja Boogie. Down he goes. Luckily, he already had everything he needs. He has the Blink Dagger. Hasn't really gotten to use it yet.
Yeah, that is fine though, as long as J.O. doesn't die.
Yeah.
And looking at the net worth at this point after that fight, Rave got like at least 3,000 net worth back from that fight. The next thing they need to do is that maybe they can try to contest the Roche, because they'll have, let's see the ultimates, 80 seconds on the Chaotic Offering. Earthshaker is 60 seconds, so he would definitely have it by the time. This is like 1 minute more, right? Am I reading it right? 1 minute more before Roshan respawns.
Let's see. Yep. Looks to be the case.
So Earthshaker would have his ultimate back up by then, and Roshan area, very good place for Witch Doctor to get a super good ultimate off. So definitely a possible situation where Rave takes a very big fight here at the Roche Pit.
HR going to try to contest though.
They need to have vision here. They have one observer on the high ground near the Ancients area. Do they have a gem to remove any vision? No, they don't have a gem. They actually have a gem on Gorek on the puck, so
Gorets.
Gorets on the puck. So there will be no vision for Rave around the Roche area, but it's still quite dangerous, you know. I feel as a HR team right now, you don't really feel secure when you're going Roche if Rave want to come and fight, because Rave's lineup is just superior at congested areas at the Roche Pit.
Yeah, I mean, that's like the wet dream for Rave right there. Does this mean HR needs to get like a pick off beforehand or what?
The best thing would be try to just get one hero to do the rush like a Juggernaut, and the rest will be pushing the lane, so it'll be less likely that Rave take a 5-on-5 fight.
Radiant structures
Okay.
are fortified.
Oh, we're going to have a TP top by Puck. He's going to use his newly picked up Yules onto Ninja Boogie. Might be in a lot of trouble because there's multiple TPs. He's going to attempt to TP out, but the Dream Coil will secure the kill one way or another. His Arts takes him down with no trouble at all. Chrissy. Well, he's on the run. He should be okay. His blink's up in 3 seconds.
Look at middle lane, the Shadow Fiend.
Oh boy, Shadow Fiend. No more double damage for you as Ryo taking quite a bit of damage.
Chrissy
from
should be
Shadow
dead.
Bolt.
He got
Oh,
lost.
Chrissy finally got initiated upon. They found him. They burst him down, and that should be enough to take Roche, I would think. Of course, there is still Warlock Golem.
Actually, 60 seconds. Probably what HR wants to do now is just force a buyback on the X, then just
Okay.
back off. That would actually do a lot more economical damage on Rave instead of going for the Roche.
But we're seeing an upheaval. That's going to be super annoying. God, look at the range on this. This is so dumb. This is so dumb. And
I
the reason
guess-
for that is because nobody ever leveled this back in the
Yeah,
day.
I guess that actually is enough to deter HR from pushing.
Well, maybe this will cause the buyback because they kind of need Axe for this,
It's
right?
oh my god, double damage. Again,
Who's it on right now?
Shadow Fiend.
Oh, he bottled it. Saving it for a rainy day. And yeah, Rave's just going to give it up. This is the Aegis.
So they'll be having their first BKB up
Roshan
on
has fallen to the
the
Radiant.
Juggernaut. Is that how you say it?
Juggernaut!
Shadow Fiend will be looking to pick up his second BKB after he actually... Oh no, he's actually going to finish the Manta first because he has Aegis round. So it's understandable. You have Aegis, so you don't really feel the need to get a defensive item like a BKB. Probably he could choose to finish up later depending on how the game progresses. So Manta more useful in sieging the enemy base right now when they have the Aegis, of course.
We have a little slight pause here. Pauses have been way less than the first couple
Yeah,
days.
it's
which is
actually a
really
lot
nice.
smoother the last...
Not sure what's changed, but
Are they actually playing on land? Yes. Or
that's
no?
the thing I don't understand. I don't know. the details because if you play like local game, can you put that on Dota TV? I'm not sure the specifics.
I actually heard heard LD said you could actually do it, but it's troublesome. So they actually didn't want to do it for some reason. But here we go, the high ground push where Rave could potentially come back with a huge team fight they have.
Morphling took out the tier 1 at the top lane. After Ninja pops double damage, fortifications used. Chrissy looking to initiate. Very scary with this double damage.
Look at HR, they're doing the right thing. Everyone behind the Shadow Fiend with double damage. Just
and the healing ward is healing him up.
Just not one thing to get near him. No, upheaval. Here we go.
Yeah, upheaval. God, how annoying is that spell? Well, he's going to take an adaptive strike and crawl in order to get to the range rack. Some permanent damage used.
At least it's not slowing his
Uh-oh, here we go. Fissure into Death Ward. He's not really taking that much damage. Now he is, now that the healing ward is down. He's about half HP as the initiation still yet to come from the Chaotic Offering and whatnot. Chrissy already pops Blade Mail. That's going to be pretty costly overall. Maledict onto Alpha Ninja. I think they just back up and regroup.
He didn't actually pick up his Manta. It's on the career. That would have actually been enough damage, I feel, to finish off at least the range racks. Well, not a big deal.
Yeah, the career's way back in the base right now.
He was like halfway down the map, and I guess somebody sent it back instead of to the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, he's probably raging right now. Hate it when that happens.
Yeah. That's why you always have chat with reuse career.
Indeed. Healing ward's up. It's only level 2. What in the world kind of build this is?
He
This is
didn't max
all
the
stats.
crit as well. I just noticed at level 18.
What do you think about this?
I guess I would get stats to a point where I would actually finish leveling up at least the crit during level 16 when you have level 3 in your Omni Slash. But they would certainly hope they have a higher rank in the healing ward based on the position and what they are doing right now.
Yeah, they're just trying to siege at the moment. Adaptive strike. Here we go, initiation. Chrissy, of course, remember, Affinity still has the Aegis of the Immortal. Here comes the Chaotic Offering. One gets eaten right away. Death Ward is out and about, doing a lot of damage to Gata, but the Omni Slash is going to deal massive amounts of damage. Of course, the Morphling is the first to fall, in fact, and the Finger of Death is going to help finish off the Warlock. Earthshaker buys back. There's a big Echo Slam. This is enough to take out Gorak, but no. Shadow Fiend and company. An ultra kill for Arts on the Juggernaut. And this might do it, WinteR. Because we have another Berserker's Call. Arts, he's going for the Rampage. He's going to get it.
They were just like really hard for them. Too far behind. They needed a really good team fight, and HR know it. The way they were playing it, just sending the Shadow Fiend, Alpha Ninja up front, taking no risk at all that somebody might get caught in a double ultimate from the Earthshaker or double call by the axe. And Rave, they were just forced to make a base defense, otherwise they would lose everything without a fight. And they just went in with a call on the Shadow Fiend, and which was not the initiation they needed to win the fight. But they didn't have much choice there. So
and with all their ultimates down, now they become a very weak lineup.
Yeah,
Lincoln Sphere was just picked up by Morphling before that.
Wow, he
started.
actually went for Lincoln Sphere. Okay, he just felt he needed that against the Lion, which I don't really think it mattered.
And of course, Lion could still take it off pretty easily with the mana drain.
Yeah, I don't know, but I feel whatever item he gets as well is just too
irrelevant.
much. They are too far behind.
Yeah.
It was just all decided during the laning phase. It was just huge for them to fall behind so hard, where HR just destroyed the lanes.
Well, this may be the last stand for Rave. They have basically no important ultimates up at the moment.
Cutting blade, if you can't see that.
Well, yeah, that is a good ultimate. I'll give you that. No AoE ultimates. Let's go with that then. Witch Doctor, though. That's a pretty low cooldown on Death Ward, so that's not too bad. But Echo Slam down for 26 seconds. Warlock Golem, 43.
Man, this is just disgusting to watch. Healing ward behind the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah. This is where having a sniper on the enemy team is super awesome. You can always just take that out pretty easily. Or even like a Storm Spirit. The Tier 3 will eventually fall. Ryo, all he can really do right now is just be super annoying with the upheaval. He has an Oblivion Staff. He's not that far away from Refresher, honestly.
You know what? One thing I feel they can actually try is just blink call and just run. run the axe deeper into territory, just make it feel like a lasso, and hopefully HR team comes in from behind and you get a Warlock ultimate behind.
Oh, Chrissy gets silenced right away and into the Cyclone. Alpha Ninja's there with a lot of damage, taking Mystic Flare damage as well. Chaotic Offering basically just used for the stun. It dies immediately. And okay, well that's a team wipe. Ultra kill for Arts. Yeah. They're kind of rolling this game right now.
The two supports played so well. HR Dread on the Skyrock and Goddamn on the Lion. They made so much happen around the map, and a lot of very clutch impales and voodoos when someone was blinking in. Not to mention the silence from Dread as well on certain occasions were really on point. And the movement overall on the two supports, I think they killed the Morphling just by the two supports moving around the map like at least 2 or 3 times, and that was like a huge deal. It affected Rave's progress in the game. Morphling couldn't get any big items up before a huge clash, and it was just crucial that the Lion and Skyrock just, after the laning phase as well, continued the pressure on the Morphling and just made sure he had a terrible, terrible game.
Alright, I'm going to turn on the camera real quick. Hi, friends. I'm actually looking up the stats for Warlock.
You like that hero, don't you?
I do. I do. So in this tournament, Warlock, I was under the impression he was undefeated as a core, with only 1 loss as support. He hasn't been picked that much. Okay, why is he not coming up at all? Oh, I see.
You need to go to the second page.
Yeah, here we go. Okay. Okay. This probably isn't updated then. So he's 9-2.
Mm-hmm.
I know that 1 loss was support. I know that for a fact. The other loss, this is probably too quick to be put into the database. So I'm not sure if that was support or core. So this may be the second loss of a core Warlock, which is sad to see. But you're right. It's like you have to get farm on him. You have to get the Ags refresher within like... What time would you say is like the latest you want to have it by?
If you count in, you have a Midas, I guess. Usually you have Midas X around 20-25 minutes. 22 if you are having a good game. 20 if you have an extremely good game. So the refresher X would probably be ideal around 30 to 40 minutes mark. 30 to 40, it would be ideal. Obviously you want to have it as fast as possible to make sure that the hero is utilized to its full potential. But this game, I felt the major reason was the lanings didn't go well for them. Like Warlock, they had the Warlock killed in the lane against the Puck and Scarf, like I want to say twice, or 3 times at least.
At least, yeah.
So that was like alone. That alone was already a huge disaster, and we even not that it wasn't even counting the fact that JO had literally no farm in the lanes. So that alone was already big enough for them to actually lose the game on. But Morphling didn't have a good time either, so they were just so far behind. Even the kills didn't really reflect on it. It was just like I think 8-7 or 9-8. It wasn't a big difference in the kill, but the score in this game just definitely didn't show how far Rave were behind because of how they drafted with the Warlock. Obviously team fight, and HR have the Juggernaut and the Shadowfiend all farming really, really well. At some point, like both of them were, I mentioned, twice as much net worth as the Morphling.
Yeah, it was pretty dirty. I mean, Morphling can do quite well in the late game. We just didn't get enough farm to do much. But with that, HellRaisers goes to
so that
8
actually
and 6.
secures their top 8.
Yeah, so they're going to be top 8.
Congratulations to HR.
Congratulations. Rave, in the meantime, 5-9. They're on the cusp of being bottom 4.
But they still have one more chance.
Yeah, and who do they play, actually?
I don't think it's an easy game because I remember saying they have 2 hard games. Here, eHome.
eHome. That's a huge game. That might be like the difference between going home and staying at the LAN for both teams.
Both teams' last game, I would say. Is it?
So eHome has a better... Or eHome has another game on top of that, though, don't they? They have 3 games today. They play... They play MVP, which, if we're going by standings, they should win. And... Let's see. So if they... Actually, let me refresh this page. My math is so bad.
Does it update instantly?
It's pretty fast. Let's see. I mean, Rave should be 5... Okay, no, it didn't. Oh, yeah, it did. Okay, 5-9. Okay. So let's say Rave beats eHome. They'll be 5... They'll be 6-9, right? eHome, they're going to beat... They're going to go 6-9. So then Rave would stay. But CDEC
But it
CDEC
depends.
lost.
Yeah, it depends on what seed.
Whoa.
How CDEC. Who did they lose to?
They lost to MVP? No.
No way.
No. I could have sworn that CDEC was.
No, they were 5-9 before
So
this.
then they have one game left then.
They still have one.
Oh,
game.
they play newbie. That's fortunate for them as well. Okay, it's still up in the air, is what we're trying to say.
Yeah, it's still very hard to say who's like. It depends on a lot of how the other games are gonna happen as well. What are the other results, and
Yeah.
it's difficult to say who is going down for sure. Like even if Rave loses their last game, they are still actually. There's a chance they might actually not even go down.
Yeah,
to
there's
the
still
bottom.
a chance.
There's still a chance.
That's true. Okay, so with that, next on this stream is going to be Synderen and Blitz with LGD versus HGT. On the main stream, we have IG versus Cloud9 with LD and WinteR.
So
You have to go downstairs,
I have
bro.
to go down. Right
And then
now.
Coddle Guy is going to be casting eHome versus MVP, which we were just talking about. All right, so thanks, WinteR. It's a pleasure casting with you, good sir.
You're welcome. Likewise.
Well-
I enjoyed the Horn talk we had.
Yeah, we had quite a long Han talk before this game, and it was pretty good stuff. Remember, guys, symmetrical map all the way as well. He agrees completely. Synderen agrees completely. just let it be. Just let it be. Let it settle. We'll be back soon enough, friends.